All righty. Welcome, everyone. It is Monday night, 7 p.m. in Phoenix. And believe it or not, it was like 98 degrees here today. I'm saying that just because it's super warm in this room that I connect with you all in, and I do love the heat. It's just interesting that this room is super warm now. So it's back to summertime. I know the rest of the country still kind of cold, and we'll drop down a little bit, but summer's here. So it's 7 o'clock in Phoenix, like I said. And what are we doing? We get together for Insights with Alicia, my favorite thing of the week. I absolutely love connecting with you guys. And we get together, we learn, we connect. I often say things and people want to know more about it. They like the insight from the scientific psychic. And the truth is there are so many things that I've experienced that have transformed my life. And I love being able to share those insights to help everyone, not just my clients. We talk about relationships, our behavior, so many life skills that will literally change your life and all of the tools to support those changes. And let's not forget about the animals. We talk about them too. For those of you that don't know, I'm Alicia Sweezer, owner of Who Knew Healing. I am an intuitive life coach, animal consultant and communicator, psychic medium, intuitive mentor, and I provide healing and growth opportunities for people and animals. And as always, those of you watching on Facebook, if you'd like to comment, please join us by the Zoom link because I can't see your Facebook comments right now. And one of the reasons that I love doing Insights with Alicia is because it gives you a place to start creating something new in your life for free, right? This is all free information. And if you haven't watched any of the old episodes or listened to them as a podcast, I highly recommend them, not just because I made them and I think they're fabulous, but there's tons of information in there. It's stuff that I teach my clients. You get it for free. So don't miss out. So when I do Insights with Alicia, I get a chance to shine the light on things and show a different perspective of how you can create change for yourself. And then if you choose to continue to grow down that path and you want to work with me individually, that option is there as well. And you get to transform at a deeper level and usually a quicker pace. Okay. So what are we going to talk about tonight? I'm very excited, right? So we just did a 3-week series on the clairs, right? How all of our intuition comes in: clairvoyant, clairaudient, claircognizant, clairsentient, clairgustant, and clairalience. And I'm still super excited at learning about the clairgustants because I didn't think I had that one. So I just thought it was fitting that since we just did that, let's talk about what else we can do with our clairs, which is spirit guides, right? That is one of the main things that I get asked lots of questions about. And so tonight we are going to do basically like a mini class. This is a lot of information that's going to be coming at you tonight. So don't worry. Some people like to take notes and that sort of thing. It's recorded, right? So the video will be uploaded tonight. The podcast audio will be uploaded and it will be in this week's blog on whoknewhealing.com. So it'll be all written out for you. So don't stress, just enjoy. But it is a lot of information. And if you have any questions along the way, pop them in the chat. I love getting questions from you guys. I love the feedback. And I will share some stories. Hopefully we don't run out of time. Because, I like to tell stories because you guys like that stuff. Okay. So in the spirit world, there are divine beings who have dedicated their love and light to the evolution of humanity in the form of spirit guides. We all have spirit guides who have been assigned to us way before we incarnated here to help us with our special purpose, right? Each person has a special purpose that they're supposed to accomplish on this earth plane. And so tonight, that's what we're going to talk about and the many forms that they come in. So what is spirit? Spirit is the energetic form of the divine force that is connected to all things through all things. It is like the web or fabric of the divine that holds this universe together. Spirit is a part of us, flows through us, and flows through all of life. Why learn to connect to energy of spirit? Why explore intuitive gifts? One, it's freaking fun. You guys know how much I love this and I love my gifts. And there's a place that we get to learn how to manage them, right? We get to learn how to use our superpowers so that we're not at the mercy of them. Those of us who are empaths, feelers, right? We're not feeling the emotions of the world and just being rocked about in the ocean. We get to sail our boat. So, and the truth is every person holds a spark of creation within them. And as such, every person holds the key to unlocking their own potential. Ooh, did you feel like this is the part I love? Because I've written this and I've read it. And when I get to connect with you guys and I get to teach this stuff and I get to say it, you can feel the energy come up. You can feel the shifts and the connection. And like when I said that, I just got like super yummy and goosebumps and I got very excited. Because that's the truth, right? Everybody has their own potential. It's one of my favorite things to help people with. And when we learn to bridge the earth plane with the realm of spirit, we start to uncover not only new truths about reality, but also how we co-create our world as well. Now, a spirit guide can be someone that was once incarnated on earth that has crossed over from the physical plane to the spiritual plane of existence, right? That's why we call it crossing over back to love and light. This can be a person or an animal. And not all spirit guides are former earth incarnates. It could also be a celestial being, such as an angel. Some spirit guides you have known from other lives and whom you might not recognize at first, but feel a connection with. Guides in spirit form can take many, many shapes. I have a massive team. You guys know that. I have animals and people and angels. And so one of the cool ones where it says, and we'll get to this category. See, this is the part where I get excited. I want to tell all the stories. But I also don't want to forget. One of my angels is someone from a past life. His name is Abraham. And we were together in like sort of Roman. I don't know if it's exact Roman, but that sort of the attire looks like that. The body armor looks like that. And well, at least that's what his does. I was a peasant girl, so mine was not pretty. So he had all the nice clothes, but he was very much my protector and still is to this day. He is still someone that I call on very, very often. So as I was saying, guides in spirit form can take many shapes. Some guides are not even shaped like humans and can be balls of light as in orbs or come to us in geometric shapes. You guys have all seen where people take pictures and you can see those orbs in them. So when considering the world of spirit, we must keep an open mind to infinite possibilities as the universe has endless number of life forms. All right, I get a little button over here. Perfect. Okay, so in tribal cultures, to revere one's ancestors who had passed from this world into the next was part of the daily fabric of life for indigenous societies. What is that book that I've read and I love? Wisdom of Africa. Oh, now I get it's by Malidoma Patrice Sommet, and it's just like, it's the second book that they've written, and I just absolutely love it. And I'm not going to say it right. He's from the Dakara. I can spell it, can't say it. Indigenous people, and they very much like spirit is everyday part of life. So they believed that there was a seamless connection between this world and the world of spirit, that those in the world of spirit still participated in their lives just as they did when they were in the physical form. And in fact, they became more powerful in how they could affect the goings on in the physical world when they have crossed over. It was said that if someone you knew, whether person or animal, had died, then you would now have an ally in the spirit world, or what we call a spirit guide. So when a soul passes from the physical into the spirit world, it is said that the spirit decides how to spend its time because it continues. In case you guys didn't know this part, it's not done when we cross back over. Like we are infinite beings and we continue to evolve spiritually, and we get to choose how to do this. Some of you have heard me tell the stories of, because I'm a medium also, right? So that when I'm doing a mediumship session with someone, I'm facilitating the people who have crossed over. And if they haven't crossed over, they're in the, the in-between, right? They haven't crossed over back to love and light, but they don't have a physical form anymore. They don't have a body. And I'm facilitating and coaching and counseling just exactly as if they were here, because there's still healing that goes on. There's still growth that goes on. There's still evolving that goes on. And when you cross over back, you get to choose like what you want to do next. And being a spirit guide is a job. Like it is something you contract to do. And so some spirits decide to provide service to incarnated souls, us still on the earth plane. These spiritual friends on the other side can see more of what's happening from the spiritual perspective and help us gain insight, guidance along the way, along with, our special purpose, right? They can see the big picture. I am, you guys know I don't have a lot of patience for myself, and I want to see the big picture all the time because my control freak part gets in there and I want all the answers and I want it all right now. I'm sure I'm the only one that does that. I'm probably just talking to myself here. Okay, so we've all been assigned spirit guides way before we were born, and they come into our lives just when we need them. Different spirit guides might come into your life at different times to aid with specific needs and levels of spiritual growth. That has very much been true for my experience in this lifetime with my guides. Some pop in and out, some have always been there. And then when I get the awareness, like my spiritual and my psychic development levels rise, then I can see what they are here for. So like I have two main ones, and that's Hannaford and Giselle. And it was a long time before I really knew what Giselle was here for. Because I wasn't developed enough. And that's normal. Like, please know, like, that's normal. And then when I finally got it, she was like, finally, and I was like, all right. So it's pretty funny. They all have their own, personalities, and they are amazing. So the truth is of course, they can't do the work for us, right? We get to do the work, but they can certainly offer guidance, or from time to time, even create miracles by, pushing you out of the way of a car or something like that, times of great need. And you can, and most certainly do, have more than one spirit guide, as different ones serve different purposes, like I said. And metaphysically speaking, we have several different types of spirit guides depending on the individual and the culture you are from. So here's the list that we're going to talk about tonight: your higher self, earth spirit guides or ancestral guides, animal spirit guides, favorite, right? Soul spirit guides, angelic spirit guides, ascended masters, and exotic spirit guides. Like I said, tonight's like a mini class. There's a lot of information coming at you. And don't worry, because you're going to have access to it in many, many forms. All right, so let's first consider the higher self, right? So this is another part of your nature that can speak to you. We have many voices within us that we use to express ourselves with. So, right, like I said, we just did the 3-week series on the clairs. And so whatever clair you have, this is where part of this comes in, our higher self, our higher consciousness that we're listening. So the voice that we speak to our children with, and the voice that we speak to our bosses or authority figures with, and say like the voice that we speak to our spouse with, and the voice we speak to ourselves. We have all these voices inside. And we would never, for instance, speak to our bosses with the voice that we speak to with our children. I mean, you could, but probably only once. Probably would be a meeting after that if you spoke to your boss like you did your 3-year-old. It would be funny to watch, though. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying it would be funny. So each voice has a purpose. And your higher self is your wise voice, your inner counselor. It's the voice that for many takes time to develop, as we are used to seeking advice outside of ourselves from friends and family, right? That is one of, like, our society is just based on that, like, get everyone's opinion and then you decide what's, right for you. And here's the thing, it's a balance. There's very much time when we need and value someone else's opinions. Like, I have a great inner circle group of people, my friends, and when I need to be seen and heard, that's exactly what they do. And there's also this place, and this is one of the main things that I am privileged enough to teach people, is what I call living from the inside out, where you grow your self-integrity, you grow your self-confidence, you grow your self-awareness enough so that you know what you want to do in this world. You're co-creating, you're co-directing. Does that mean it's easy or you always have the answers? No, but there is a sense of self that really becomes formed, and a strong foundation that then it's this balance of, oh, I have my own higher self telling me things, and I can also listen to other people's insight as well, and then make decisions. And so much in our society, it's very much like, let me just hear what everyone else says and then I'll decide. Part of it comes from, it's just a lot of fear, and that's okay. So developing and listening to this inner voice, like I said, one of my favorite things to do. And this higher self is a state of consciousness that we grow into like any other stage. There are different stages of growth that we all evolve into, from baby to child, child to teen, teen to an adult. Well, the next stage after adult is higher self. But most people stop at the adult stage, never realizing their full potential as a divine higher being. So just as the adult potential is in every child, so too is there the higher self potential within every adult. Through development, one eventually brings this part into our nature or our voice to the forefront of direction and guidance, kind of like what I was just talking about. Okay, so the next one is the earth spirit guide. This is usually a person who you knew in this lifetime. They're a relative who helps you through the day-to-day grind, the nitty-gritty processes of life. This is the guide that whispers to you to go down this road to avoid trouble, or sends you a thought form to help solve a problem you're having. They are the unseen hands that assist us in our daily lives, right? So these are usually parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends. I mean, anyone basically that you came in contact with. In my personal experience of helping clients, it's usually a best friend or a family member that shows up to be their spirit guides. And this is the soul who greets you at the door when it comes time to transition out of body, right? So when you cross over back to love and light. The next one, I gotta take a drink because I get all excited. And I'm trying to fit it all in to our 30 minutes. So animal spirit guides, yay, my favorite. These are more popular in indigenous cultures who saw animals as their teachers in life in the ways of survival. But they now are becoming more popular in our modern technological culture as we become more appreciative of natural forces that we are a part of as well. These are the animal spirits that we may or may not have known in this life that have passed on and will come to us at significant times when we need a sign that a spirit is here to aid us or struggle. So all right, I'm gonna say this part and then I'm gonna tell my stories. Animal spirits can also give us messages telepathically, like human-looking spirit guides. Animal spirits can act as protectors when we are in danger. There are all kinds of animals that you can adopt to be your spirit helper. They can give you the attributes that they have in this life. So if you need to run, a deer guide can give you the power of fast flight. If you need to be psychic, an owl, right, our little wise guys, can give you the attributes to see in the dark, to see things others cannot see. A lion can give you power and leadership to overcome a difficult situation. And the truth is, if you're strongly attracted to a particular animal, chances are that you have that animal as a protector or a guide. So this is the part that's funny, is that if you, whatever word you use, God, source, universe, right? You guys, I use them all interchangeably, the divine. If you think that it doesn't have a sense of humor, and some of you have heard me tell this story, and my first animal guide that showed up was a 6-foot spider. I am terrified of spiders, like irrationally, pathologically terrified of spiders. And I was like, are you kidding me? You're going to send me a 6-foot spider? And they come with names, right? Your animal guides and your human guide, everybody comes with a name and you get to ask them what their name is. I didn't ask. I was like, look, your name is Fred. I need the most like benign, neutral name, and you're going to stay over there in the corner. And he was not allowed to move because, you know, spiders, what? I will lose my shit. And so he was not allowed to move around. But the cool thing is that his energy, how he felt, makes all of the difference. So I'm gonna date myself here, but you know, Sesame Street, remember Snuffleupagus, the imaginary friend that only Big Bird can see, which is pretty fitting now when I look at that in my life. Like, of course, that would be my favorite one. But he also looked sort of like an elephant. And he was super sweet. So Fred, my brand new spider guide, 6 feet, hairy, had the energy of Snuffleupagus. Right. So it wasn't scary. It wasn't something I needed to run from. And we had rules. Like I said, he wasn't allowed to walk around. He was allowed to jump up and down when I was getting close to what was the message that he was wanting to deliver. And he had a lot of them. So he would use his legs like, okay, we got that one. And he would lift his leg up, but no walking. I also have, you know, you guys know my kitty Pip, who has transitioned. Tomorrow will be 2 months. And, you know, he is one of my guides now. He's actually a lot more than that. I'm still gathering information. And 2 of my other kitties that I have, you know, that have transitioned, they are my guides. You guys know the story that the night that Pip transitioned, Zeus, my other kitty, actually came, laid in bed with me. I'm trying to think what else. So I have, you know, elephants are one of my favorite. I have an elephant spirit guide. I have a wolf. I have Fred, and others pop in and out. And then as far as like the humans, like I said, I have my 2 main ones, which are Hannaford and Giselle. I also have 2 angels, you know, Abraham and Anara. Who am I forgetting? And then other ones will like pop in once in a while, but you sort of have your core team. And so that's my one story of animal spirit guides. So the next that we're going to talk about are soul spirit guides. This is usually a person that you knew in a past life, right? So you heard me talk about Abraham, someone who is on the same spiritual level as yourself, someone who may have gone through similar life lessons that you are going through now, and they get to help with guidance. This soul will help you with your higher purpose, your mission in this embodiment, right? So this lifetime that you're in, the karmic issues, the spiritual lessons, the gifts and talents that you brought from past lives, and so on. Their main purpose is to help you evolve your soul during this incarnation. Because, Earth's a little rough right now. We need all the help that we can get. All right. So next are the angelic spirit guides. And it is said that the angelics hold the vision and vibration of highly qualified ethereal energy. They reflect that same energy within us and stand as examples of this for all of humanity, who are also sparks of the divine. And they can take many shapes, some with wings, some as visions of light. Most people, however, can't see angels, but they will experience their energy. And that's okay. Remember, as we were talking about all of the clairs, where I said, you don't have to have all 6. Like, that's not the goal. If you have one, that's perfect. And so whether you can see an angel, hear an angel, feel an angel, it's all in divine order. It's all perfect as it is. It's not one of these places where we get to try and be an overachiever. Not that I know anything about that. So it's however your information comes in is absolutely perfect. And it's true in my experience that when I call forth angels of light, I get a sense of lift or higher vibrational frequency. So we have, of course, the big 4 archangels, right? So Archangel Michael, the protector, I invoke him daily. As soon as I wake up, I invoke Archangel Michael. If I'm going into any kind of situations where there's a group or anything that I'm not unsure of, I invoke him. Just because I don't feel like dealing with the entities and the low vibration. And, these guys are there. They want us to call on them. They want to help us. Archangel Gabriel, the messenger, I ask for his help when I'm writing anything. Like whether I'm writing a blog, these podcasts that we're doing, a class for you guys, anything, an email that I'm sending out, I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, Archangel, what is it that we want to say? Archangel Raphael, he's the healer, and Archangel Uriel is the angel of the presence. Okay, so the next category, I'm talking as fast as I can because I know we're getting a little short on time, are the Ascended Masters. So Ascended Masters are in the Ascended Master teaching is derived from the theosophical concept of Masters of the Ancient Wisdom, or the Mahatamas. I know I slaughtered that. They are believed to be spiritually enlightened beings who in past incarnations were ordinary humans, but who have undergone a process of spiritual transformation called the Ascension. Ascended masters can be very powerful. Some of the most famous ascended masters include Jesus, Buddha, Saint Germain, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, El Morya, and I'm going to probably say this wrong again, Sanat Kumara. So those are sort of the big ones that everybody has at least some understanding of. Okay, now we get into the exotic varieties. These exotic varieties challenge some people's sense of reality. It forces us to decide whether we want to live in the magical world or the world of the rational mind with its inherent limitations. So ET guides, right? Extraterrestrial guides. Some of you did not originate on this planet, often called starseeds, and may have had past lives on other planets. So you may have extraterrestrial guides from other worlds to help you cope with life on this planet, which, as you know, can be quite difficult, especially if you come from an advanced civilization, because as we've spoken, humans are pretty basic in their life form and their abilities, and that's okay. That's exactly how humans are supposed to be. So this is the place where orbs and geometric shape guides pop in. Like I said, when you take the pictures and then there's these orbs or these weird shapes that appear in the photos, those are spirit beings. Sometimes a guide might just appear as a ball of light, like not even in a picture, just like that's what you see. For some reason, this one popped in. I have, there's a kitty that is a guide of mine. I don't even know her name, but she hangs out. She's been with me for 1, 2, 3, about 4 years now. And she always shows up to visit, or apparently when I need protection, because cats are really good at that. And she's black. And so it's one of those things when you're learning, right? So when I teach people, like you see the black out of the corner of your eye. Well, we now know, like, one, that can be a clairvoyant thing, but also I know it's her. And I've told some stories of, I'll be walking down the hallway and I step through a door and I lift up my feet because it feels like she's there, right? I can feel her. I can see her. Now she's not in body form, but my body's like, oh, we don't want to step on the kitty. So, it picks up its leg. So there's just this place of anything is possible. And now we're going to get into the other ones that sometimes, like I said, it can challenge some people's belief systems. So nature spirits and elementals. So these are the fairies, the crystals, the tree spirits, the elves, gnomes, sylphs, undines, sprites. One of the things, particularly with sprites and fairies, the fae are very serious about the role that they play and how do I say it? I guess their society, like their culture. So it's this place of they also get easily offended. And that's like very, very basic way of trying to explain this. So we always want to be mindful of our relationships with other beings, regardless of what they are. And we share, dimensions with them. And so they don't, and sprites, in addition, don't like to hear that they don't exist, that they're not real. And it was funny because I had this one student, she would come to my events and she literally, bought the book because they're like, like I said, tonight's just sort of a mini class. There are thousands of books on spirit guides, right? So read up, that sort of thing. You guys know I'm not allowed to read any of the books. The universe doesn't let me. Mine's all experiential. And, but she bought one of the books that I recommended and it disappeared. She had it on her kitchen table, it disappeared. And I was like, the sprites took it because she had house sprites. But she was very early in her development and I loved her to death. She was awesome. And she was like, I don't care. They need to bring it back. And she was like, they're not real. And I was like, listen, the more we offend them, the longer they're going to keep your book. So just as in humans, right? Humans very much want to be seen and heard. It's common among all beings. So just be respectful of any of, the beings that you come in contact with, because sometimes they'll hide your stuff. I even know of another story. I had a friend, she had her rent money on the coffee table in her house. It was $600. This was years ago because, you can't rent anything in Phoenix now for $600. And she went to bed. She lived alone. House was locked. And she got up in the morning and the money was gone. And she was like, are you kidding me? Like, I need to pay my rent. And she checked with someone and they were like, it's fairies. And they gave her like this long process of what she needed to do, very specific steps. And she did them all. 2 days later, money was back on the coffee table when she woke up in the morning. So I know these stories may be hard for some of you to believe. I've had experiences where I've seen stuff literally disappear right in front of my eyes. I've seen stuff locked in rooms that weren't there. We were looking for keys one day. So it's just one of those things, like whatever you're open to, that's great. And whatever is not a match for you, that's okay also. So where I want to end this, one of the things that I want to talk about is vibrations and protection. So remember that these are guides, right? We never hand over our power to anyone. Guides are there to assist us, not to do it for us. And one of the things that you can do when you're learning all this kind of stuff and wanting to start talking to your spirit guides is to test them. And your guides are going to expect this. So you can be like, hey, show me this. Now, here is the place where we get to remember that it's not all linear. And so if you ask to see, I used to, when I first started years and years ago, I made flashcards and it would be like a pair of sunglasses or a rubber ducky or a particular picture of something. And I would be like, okay, show me this. Now it may show up on a billboard. It may show up in a book. You may see it while you're driving. You may see it in your room. You may get it telepathically. Like it's not one of those where all of a sudden a pair of sunglasses lands right in the middle of your bedroom. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things like we get to have our awarenesses be open and you get to ask them to show up. And remember, as always, you are the strongest being in your body. And this is one of the very, very core pieces that I teach people and that I want you to know is that guides, entities, spirits, etc., whichever word works for you, those are all kind of different things, is that they cannot change how they feel. They can change how they look, but they cannot change how they feel. And this is really, really important when you are dealing with lower vibrational spirits or entities, not any of the things that we've been talking about tonight, because we're not going to have these are all our higher vibrational beings that we're speaking about tonight. And there are lower vibrational beings out there, entities, we sort of call them. Lower vibrational beings, as any other being, can change the way they look to try and deceive. And remember, they cannot change how they feel. So even if it looks or sounds like someone, check the feeling. It will always be light and a higher vibration if they are a match to us, if they are who they actually say they are. And if it's heavy, then it's an illusion, because they cannot change the energy. They cannot change how they feel. So, right, like that's one of the main things that I teach people, right, is light or heavy, like how to read the energy of anything. Like that's how we move through this world. So always, 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 that even if it looks like someone that check the energy. And you guys hear me say this 1,000 times, and I'm going to keep saying it. You must be aware of your own energy so that you can tell when something comes around is not a match for you. I'm going to say it and continue to teach it. It's the first thing that I teach people, right? If you don't know what you feel like, if I didn't know what Alicia felt like, if I didn't know what my own personal energy felt like, how could I tell, one, being an empath, when I've taken on someone else's emotions or energy, as well as how can I tell whether or not there is, lower vibrational beings around or higher vibrational beings? If I don't know what I feel like, how do I know that someone who's here to guide me is there? Right. And so this is one of the things that I do help people with, is that we call them spiritual attachments, right? If any of these lower vibrational beings get attached to you, sometimes we get sticky when we're going through some stuff. We just get to clear them. It's not a big deal. Okay. So, like I said, we just did a 3-week series on the Claire's videos, blogs, podcasts. I highly recommend them, because some of the tools that we spoke about in there are going to be able to help you in your spirit guide communication. Right. So that's the meditation, the energetic balancing, the cards, the symbol dictionaries, right? All of the journals and the dictionaries that we spoke about, pendulums, automatic writing, dream work. Trying to think. I don't know. I know we spoke about a couple of other things, but all of those can help you in your, developing your relationship with your spirit guides. So one of the other practices that we want to remember is that before connecting with spirit, ask to be in divine alignment, be a vessel for the divine. Every day, like I said, I call in Archangel Michael. I surround myself in white light, and then I start my day. Before every session with a client, I have a practice, a routine that I do that keeps everyone safe, protected. It makes a secure sort of bubble channel that we're in. And remember, they can only assist us so much with our awareness. At that point, we must consciously work to raise our energies, right? And then they'll meet us there, and then we evolve more in our more awarenesses, and then they meet us there, and we get to open our hearts to them. And like I said, remember, it's a relationship. These are beings that, if this is what you're going to choose to do to connect with them, it's a relationship. So we want to be mindful. We want to be conscious. We want to be kind. No different than any of the people that are walking around or animals on this planet. It's the same type of energy, the same type of consciousness that we want to have in consideration. Okay. So homework, right? Because we know there's always homework, especially tonight, because this is like a mini class. There's just so much stuff. So I recommend getting quiet and spending some time developing the communication and relationship with your guides. And to help you with that, here are some questions that you can ask. And like I said, this will all be written in this week's blog, so you don't have to worry about like trying to write them all down right now. So, can you touch me? Are you male or female? Are you around me often? When am I more likely to recognize you? What purpose do you serve in my life? And what area of my life will you be more prominent? What is your name? Is there a particular color, sound, fragrance that will draw you closer? Right? There's our Claire's in there. Can you show me in my mind's eye what you may look like? And here's the thing. Don't be discouraged if you don't get these answers right away, right? We talked about that with the Claire's also, like it's a development process. And sometimes the questions will come a day later to be like, oh yeah. And that's for all of us. Sometimes they come in right away. Some I can hear them. And sometimes, because I've got whatever going on, they're like, oh, we've got to wait. We got to wait for her humanness to, take a chill pill for a moment so that she can hear us. You can ask them, is there anything specific that I need to know in this moment? How can I help assist our connection? What messages do you have for me? And as always, say thank you. Like I said, this is a relationship. And so we want to be respectful. Nobody would want to be in a relationship with someone who's going to be, abusive in the way that they speak, who's going to be sort of ungrateful or nasty. People don't want to be in human to human relationships. Our spirit guides, that's not what they're looking for either. So just something to be mindful of. And what kind of relationship do you want to create? So as I said, teaching intuitive or psychic tools is absolutely one of my favorite things to do as an intuitive mentor. If this is something that you resonate with and can move you forward along your journey, then please reach out. I'd love to apply for the job to be your guide. Alrighty. So I hope that was helpful. Like I said, I know it was a lot of information, all the good categories. It's really, really such good stuff when you get to start having these other relationships. And it's sort of the joke that people make about me all the time, because we know I'm massively introverted, and they're like, you're always alone. And I'm like, I'm never alone. I'm never alone. None of us are, right? I just have spent the time to have those relationships. And so I know that I'm never alone. Doesn't mean my humanness doesn't get in there sometimes, but the truth is that we're all one, and that we do have guides that are here to help us. Okay. Hope that was super helpful. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I had a great time as always. And as always, right, if there's people you want to share this with, the video will be uploaded to YouTube tonight under Alicia Sweezer. Please do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, so that more people can find it and that it can help them as well. All of these links are going to be in the event listing. Thank you to everyone who donated to my cosmic tip jar. It allows me to create more free things that I get to give to people. If anyone feels led to do so, links are in the event info, multiple options. Thank you so much. It was great to see everyone this week. I absolutely love being able to connect with you. If you celebrate Easter, I hope that you had a fabulous holiday. If you were with family and that is what you were wanting to do, I hope that it was a great connection. And if you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you had a fabulous Sunday also. And I hope you have a really, really great week. And hopefully the weather's nice wherever you are. It's a little toasty. I actually turned the air conditioning on in my truck yesterday. I was like, oh, Jesus, is it going to work? Because I have a very old truck, right? And if you don't, I haven't run AC all winter, and I'm like, and it actually worked. I was very excited. I don't have heat, but AC is way more important in Phoenix than heat is. So have a fabulous, fabulous week, and I will see you all again next Monday. All right, everyone. Bye-bye.